What's up, everybody? This is DJ Lionhead, and this is the Support Cha Boi Podcast. Man, this is going to be a great interview because it's a long time coming. It involves a podcaster in the Sacramento area that I have been watching for quite a while. He has very interesting content. And don't just take my word for it. You can check it out for yourself. He is the one and only from Hyperview Podcast on all streaming platforms. The one and only Hyview, baby. Hell yeah.
Hyview.
Okay, Hyview. So let me go ask you the question I always ask everybody in the beginning of the podcast.
Okay.
How did you get that name?
How did I get the name Hyview?
Even for the podcast.
For the podcast. So I go by a lot of monikers. Hyview came about because when I went about to go make a podcast, I wanted to try and I wanted to broaden people's perspective. And like you think about like an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
How do you get across a term, or how do you get across an idea without saying too much, right? And Hyperview was like a way that I could like bundle that all up in one like little package, like Hyperview. So it's a way of like having a really broadened perspective, or viewing the world in this really broad way. So like that's where Hyperview.
And when did you start doing this?
Realistically, the idea budded probably the beginnings of the end of last year. Okay. Right? So like November time frame, probably a little bit before that. But I really was planning. I have a tendency to like have a good idea and then immediately start it. You know what I mean? Instead of like taking my time. Hey, thank you, Snatched. Snatched in the building.
Hey, Snatched was good.
If you don't know her, Snatched on TikTok, go check her out. She do makeup tutorials. I gotta shout my girl out. I have a tendency to like have a good idea, start it immediately, and like underestimate the amount of like work that it's gonna take to get it done. And then when I have to like really work hard, I'll give it up. And I realized that I was doing that in a cycle. Like I would get really energized about something. I started for a little bit and then I give it up. Really energized about something, started, and then I give it up. And I kept doing that over and over and over and over and over again. So I was like, okay, I got to get off this train.
Yeah.
So when I had the idea for the podcast, I was like, okay, stop. Let's research it.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. And I didn't want to get in the analysis paralysis phase either. So I was like, okay, give yourself a time frame. So I was like, let's start January. Let's start fresh in the year. Let's get all our channels ready.
Yeah. Let's
do some research. Let's get like the logo ready. Let's get the equipment. Like I had a plan.
Yeah.
So like I would say around November, December time frame. Like, and I won't say I didn't drop nothing. Like I kind of was playing around with it, but I knew I wasn't going to get serious before January.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like I gave myself like a time frame of which I could like research, get stuff ready, figure out kind of what I wanted to do, and lay the foundation for getting it started.
Oh, okay.
And then I hit the ground running, start of the year.
Yeah, because a lot of people they tend to they have the idea for the podcast and then they just peter out. So what episode would you say you're on at this time?
What episode am I on? So realistically, the idea that I had changed drastically, and the reason for that is I wanted to do a audio only podcast, and not an audio. Let me change that. I wanted to do an audio and video podcast.
Right.
I was going to do like I don't know if you're familiar with it. Do you know like what the Joe Rogan style of podcasting is?
Yeah, I know he has video, but there are audio ones. For example, like Bill Burr, who's a majority of strictly a comedian who strictly does almost always audio only.
Well, not even that. Just like, so when I say like the Joe Rogan style of podcasting, so when I did my research, I wanted to understand like how how could I fully maximize my time, and how could I fully utilize my podcast to the best of my ability. So what I wanted to do was be able to shoot long form content, be able to do that audio. And because most people aren't going to sit down and watch a 3-hour long video on YouTube, especially if they don't know who you are and you don't have no like prior audio, right? So shoot an audio only podcast, right? Audio, and then get that edited down to a YouTube video, right? To maybe like an hour and a half, maybe even shorter than that, maybe like 45 minutes, 30.
Right.
Because most people on YouTube, they needed a little bit more, and maybe even have that chapterized, like pointed, you know what I mean? So people can jump to the points they want. And then even more, we can get that cut down. Thank you, Snatch. Go ahead, mod them comments. And then even cut that down more for like the TikToks, the Instagrams, and everything else, right?
Right.
So that was my goal. But a whole bunch of stuff happened. At the time, I had a building. I had a podcast studio. I had multiple sets. You know what I mean? I had people that were building out sets for me, and I lost all of that.
Damn.
Right? Like I lost all of it in like a blink of an eye. So everything, like I didn't lose all my equipment. Like all my equipment I still had. Yeah. But all the space that I had to shoot, I lost it. Right. Yeah. And it's not like I wasn't paying my bills or anything, just ownership changed. And I didn't get along with the owner. So I was like, you know what, it's not going to work. Not going to work. We're going to move on. In the process of trying to find a new space. And this is to all the entrepreneurs out there that as you are trying to find your dream, things evolve, right? And I'm trying to answer your question the best way I can. What episode am I on? I don't know. Like I honestly don't know, because it started as episodes and then it changed into something else, and now I'm doing live streams. So I don't know. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it just has evolved into something totally different now. Yeah, to where now I got to go back onto like YouTube because they archive the live streams, and some of those live streams are just tests, so they're not even full episodes. Some of these are things that I need to go back and edit. So it's like, don't be afraid to just try stuff, number one. And two, be okay if your dream like kind of evolves as you do it, right? Yeah. Like you had an idea when you first started it. Yeah. And then like you're going to hit bumps in the road. You're going to have to like adjust, right? And figure it out, rejigger and tinker with it till you figure it out. Because it's not going to go exactly the way you planned it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's other players in the game. Like everybody don't want you to win. That's just the truth of the game. You know what I mean? That's true. So you're going to have to try and figure it out. But realistically, I would probably say probably like episode like 2025, because I released regularly when I did have the studio. We were releasing one to two videos every week. Yeah, very high quality videos, I might say. And this is really what I was trying to get to. That's hard. It is. Doing it by yourself, recording all of that footage. Like one, you got to manage getting people there. Yep. Right. Then you actually have to interview them. Yeah. And then you got to stitch together that story. The audio portion is cool, but then you got to sit down and, because I'm a perfectionist, I'm not just going to sit, like, again, we were just talking about how I'm an audio engineer, how I'm an artist also. So it's not like I'm finna just upload a raw audio file. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I sat down and I EQ'd it, I mastered it. Like I'm sitting down and I'm taking out dead space. And then I'm thinking about, I'm going and I'm searching up AI so that it can take out dead space automatically. Like I'm figuring out how to save myself time. Yeah. Right? Because what most people don't figure out is, okay, they just be like, oh, I don't have any money. Okay, well, if I don't have money, then I have time. Right. You have a resource. Yes, you do. I have a resource. And if I don't have time, I have intellect. Yeah. And if I don't have intellect, I can build, something. I got something. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to build leverage from something. So at the end of the day, it took me time and to do all that stuff. I got to get them in the room. I got to bake the audio. Then once the audio's out, now I got to go do the YouTube video. and that's a whole nother baked in potatoes. And I don't like editing, so get you an editor, people. If you want to do content, for sure, pay for that. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I love editing. It's weird because other than the podcasting,
can I ask you a question? Are you an introvert or extrovert?
A bit of both. I started extrovert, turning into an introvert.
Okay, I think editors are introverts.
Yeah, I started extrovert because before I got into podcasting as DJ Lionhead, I'm a show promoter in Sacramento. I promote a lot of artists as far as, live shows here in Sacramento. I was doing a whole lot before the pandemic. And when the pandemic dropped, that's when I started doing podcasting.
Okay.
Because I couldn't have shows with nobody, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Because I think some people can do dual. Like, it just depends on, like, its situation.
But yeah, I should be doing a lot more shows now, but I'm starting to love podcasting. I'm starting to really love my introvertness.
I feel like I'm naturally introverted. I'm situationally extroverted.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same reason. I did a podcast to force myself to talk to people.
Right.
To force myself to, like, interact with people. To force myself to have conversations. To force myself to network. To force myself to get better at a thing that I say that I'm not good at, which is connecting to other human beings.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I do want to talk to you about the fact that I had no idea you were an artist.
Yeah.
And let's start where did you start as a rapper first, or in the audio field, or as far as beat maker or studio producer guy? Where did you start first?
The people on my channel, they kind of know this. I started actually as a instrumentation. I started playing in the 5th grade. I played the viola.
Oh.
Yeah, so I played a stringed instrument from 5th up until 11th grade. And then the 11th grade, they cut our arts program. That's the only reason I stopped playing. I still, to this day, I think I'm gonna go buy it. If y'all subscribe to my John, I'll go buy a viola. I'll play viola live. I'm telling you right now.
There you go. My wife plays a violin.
First song I'll play is Pink Panther. Ooh. Go ahead, send them to my page. Tell them to subscribe. I'll buy a viola and I'll play the Pink Panther. That was my favorite song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I was a viola player.
Okay.
That was my first introduction to music. I remember I played a 17-inch viola. And there was this little Asian girl that battled me for first chair for the 3 years that we played in elementary school. But yeah, that was my first introduction to music. And then I got taught like organ and piano, in church.
Yeah.
By most people. And then same girl, she taught me like Reason.
Ooh.
That was my introduction, which makes me a little bit weird because most people, is Pro Tools. Logic.
I'm a Logic guy.
Every now and again you'll see the Audacity, and then the other big one is Fruity Loops.
Yeah, that's like introduction to anybody.
Which that's a love and hate relationship with me. I got a couple of partners that use it, and I really love their stuff. And I got a lot of partners that use it, and I really don't like their stuff at all. I know exactly that they use it, and I don't think they use it properly.
Yeah.
But I digress. But yeah, I got in there. She showed me how to use Reason, and the way she taught me how to use it was kind of like, hey, this is how you load this stuff up, and then walk off.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So like, and from there I just kind of was like, oh. And Reason is the kind of program where it's kind of like you're working with hardware.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of like turn the rack around and you can rewire stuff.
Exactly.
So I appreciated it for that because it gave me a understanding of like audio and signal flow.
And not only that, it also, if you do ever to decide to go work at a studio, Reason is the best. Reason is the best DAW to teach somebody who wants to work in a studio, like in a big studio.
That's dope.
I found out that Reason is the closest thing to a real studio. So
right.
So if you were if they were going to take you or me, because the things behind are better than I do, they'll take you instead of me. Right.
And that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, because Reason kind of gives you an understanding of signal flow, like what's going where,
right,
and how.
Yeah.
Right. And what to do and what to what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not just slapping a box on something that's got a pretty effect on it.
You're right. That's what most logic people do. So yeah, that's the good thing about Reason. I wanted to learn more about Reason, but my strength is logic. But yeah, so
thank you for the gifts, brother. I appreciate you.
For those out here, like people in the Support Cha Boi, who had no idea that you were an artist, because I know they seen you on your podcast, on whether it's Instagram or TikTok. So people, the artists who know who you are, who've seen you, they just think you're a podcaster. What is your artist name, in case you put out a new single coming out?
Yeah. Okay. So no, I ain't got no singles coming out, man.
You don't know. You never know.
Don't get these people excited. No, I'm telling you, it's still people to this day. I'm not even playing with you, because like I got diehard fans that still text me, send me emails and text and say, "Hey man, when you gonna drop a John?" Now I still work on music every now and again. I'll work on a beat or something. I got unreleased stuff that I worked on, and that I have like albums that, like, I probably got a whole album sitting right now that I could probably release. But I'm such a perfectionist, and I surround myself with a caliber of people that they make me feel like I'm not good. Let's put it like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because I feel weird when I'm the best person in a room. You know what I mean? Like I feel strange. So I try to surround myself with really talented people. I try to surround myself with really, 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 really good people. So I try to do the best work that I can. But yeah, no, I ain't got no secrets come out. But my artist name is Zion, Z-Y-O-N.
Z-Y-O-N.
My record label is Dope Records, D-O-P-E. It's a period between each one of those letters.
Okay.
The record label was really, like, that was my dream for, so like, y'all don't understand, bro. I was really one of them kids that was like, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna be an artist. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but dope standard for doing over people's expectations. I was really trying to change.
Like that.
I was trying to change a culture. It was a culture shift. I really wanted people to be and see a different way of rapping. And then Kanye did it, so I was like, I could quit.
Oh, because he did the idea that you
know what I mean? Like, so that's why I looked up to Kanye the way I did for a long time. And then, he went his way. So, but like, the culture shift that I was looking to do happened.
Right.
And the wave is over. So it's like, and I'm older now. Yeah. So I can continue to make music and do what I love to do and move on to other directions in my life. And not have to continue to, try to chase that. Because what I realized was I can continue to make music for the rest of my life. It doesn't matter if I make money from it. You know what I mean? Like, if I make money from it, that's an extra bonus. Yeah. But I don't have to attach making money to it if it makes me happy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Have you been keeping up a little bit with what's going on with these record labels?
Not at all. It makes me unhappy. Because they don't cut me no checks.
Right. No,
you know what I mean? Sometimes I think you do have to, like, you got to segment stuff off from your life that don't feed you no good energy. Yeah. Because there's a lot of negativity in this world that's looking to seep into your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? That actively seeks to get into your home, your house, your mind, your everything. You know what I mean? And it's like, why would I actively go seeking you out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reason why I brought it up is because I saw some stuff that was, there's a big change coming, and I say it's for the good of artists, and I may be for the bad, but it's for the good. So, for example, most of the record labels, the major record labels, have dropped all of their artists who are not like their top 10, like the Drakes and the Beyonce. If you're like an artist that's not all that famous and stuff, right? They just cutting them all. So, and I come to find out
that makes sense.
Huh?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So because and I found out what they're trying to do now is the record labels here in America, Universal, they want to slowly work themselves in becoming another form of DistroKid. They want to be able to offer you the most as a distributor instead of being the person who runs the label. I was like, what? So yeah, that's the move they're trying to make. They're all combining, like for example.
But they always should have been offering a premium service.
Right.
They always should have been offering a premium service instead of gatekeeping. Right. That's what they were doing. What they were doing was, for you to be able to put music out, you got to be able to come to us. And if you try to do it on your own, we're gonna smash you, because that's what businesses do. Big businesses keep smaller businesses out by gobbling up all the resources.
Right, because they're spending so much money.
It's a business tactic. Yeah. If you go to business school, it's just a business tactic. Walmart does it. Yeah. Right. Anybody does. Right. Mm-hmm. If you got enough money, you can buy up all of the resources it takes to be able to make something. Right. And then nobody else can come in and take your market share. Right.
Their plan is to basically be the one distributing digital distributing company who can offer more than anyone else. They can offer you the chance to be on TV directly.
But you can't. But now they understand that they can't do that anymore, because there's TikTok, there's Instagram. You can buy ads for $5. You can organically make your own audience. So artists no longer need labels for that.
Exactly.
Right. What they do need them for is the distribution.
Right.
So. Right?
That's why they're going that route.
They don't need the labels for that anymore.
No, they don't. And they're starting to realize that they're becoming
DistroKid is getting all that money. Spotify is getting all that money. Yep. iTunes is getting all that money.
Yep.
So what they need to become is so all labels are the bank.
Yeah, exactly. To me, they're more like a payday loan.
That's literally what they are. They are a very expensive payday loan.
A very expensive payday loan.
They are a very expensive payday loan.
That's exactly what they are. I'll give you $255 for my $300 when you get paid.
They're gonna give you a nice little advance, right? And they're gonna advance it all to you.
Yep.
So that you pay for you making the music you was gonna make anyway, so that they can own it.
It's crazy.
That makes sense. But that's a good deal to some people who. I mean, if you needed the money and you was just trying to get out the hood or whatever your situation was, I'm not gonna knock it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what was the alternative?
Yeah. So and they were saying that as far as our reading on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and some of the higher ups were saying that the reason why they're going to go that route is because there's so many independent artists making it.
Correct.
Doing it on their own. Why try to get them to sign when they can do it on their own? And the only thing they actually really need is a distributor. So that's the route they're going.
Correct. So it's called proof of concept, right? It's like, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but like Burger King started selling tacos for a little bit.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Right. Like it was just for a little bit. They just was like, for a hot second, they were selling tacos. And the reason why they did that was because Jack in the Box sells tacos.
Yeah.
And Jack in the Box and Burger King are major competitors. Not Burger King and McDonald's, what you would think, right?
Right. I would think Burger King, McDonald's, but I think
nope.
You're saying Burger King and Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. That's why they offer such wacky sides. Like think about that. Like who offers such weird, like Burger King, right, and Jack in the Box? They offer
40 nuggets for $3.99. What the hell?
Think about it's the cravings, it's the values, it's the weird size, wacky stuff. So they did and they only did it for a little bit to see. It's called proof of concept. If it worked, we'll keep going with it.
Yeah.
If it don't, we'll pull back. So when Spotify, iTunes, DistroKid, all these distributors popped up and offered artists to pay like a monthly subscription to put their music out, right? Or we'll offer to you for free. Like, hey, look, just put your music up for free and just split it with us.
Yeah.
So I was talking, look, my people, tune in. Your people, tune in.
Yeah.
I was telling people about this today, right? You don't have to be broke. All you need is an offer, okay?
All you need is an offer.
I'm never going to tell you not to go buy something. If you want to get something, if you want to own something, if you want to go somewhere, if you want to go on a trip, you want to buy a new car, you want to get something, you need to create an offer, right? What DistroKid was, they said, okay, we got a lot of artists out here. We got a lot of young kids who said, hey, we want to be artists and we're going to make music. We're going to make music regardless of what anybody says to us, right? What they need is a place where they can put this music out and get it to everybody. Yeah. Right? So us as people who know how to create websites and platforms, and we understand how iTunes work, and we understand how Spotify works, and we understand how Deezer and all these other streaming platform works, we're going to go build a website where all they got to do is give us their music, and we're going to do all the hard work for them for free. Up front. And all we're going to ask for them is a split on their royalties. We're even going to calculate it for them. We're going to ask them for a split on their future revenue. They created an offer. They created money out of thin air.
Damn, that's great.
They created money out of thin air, out of providing value for somebody other than themselves. They didn't need that website. They don't make music. I guarantee you nobody, well, I'm playing. Most of the dudes who probably worked on DistroKid probably were artists, but they understood that there were more people like them out there that needed to get their music to other people. Stop thinking about just you. You are not that special. And what I mean by that is more people situated just like you are, who have the same problem you are. If you can figure out, if I can solve this problem for me and duplicate that 100, 1,000, 2,000, 2 million times, how much money would I make?
Right. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how my mind works. When I see a problem, I see opportunity.
Yeah.
When I got out of the military, I couldn't understand the health insurance they put in front of me. You know what I did? I went back to school and learned health insurance. I got my health insurance license, and I've been selling health insurance and life insurance since I got out. And that's I literally see opportunity. So I'm like, I'm smart. If I don't get this, most people don't get this. That's literally how my mind works. I see an opportunity to try to help somebody. Yeah. Or an opportunity to solve a problem.
Yeah.
That's just how my mind works.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point there. I like that. Have you ever thought about performing it?
I do. I got look, man, y'all missed the scene.
Yeah, I guess we did.
I used to be out here in these streets, man. I used to get it. I used to perform all the time, man. I've done the state fair before. Like back in the day when I was in the military, my first duty station was Korea. I've done shows in Busan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like I've lived a life, my friend.
Well, I'm gonna ask you something that's gonna be really.
I've lived a life.
You're gonna be like, what? I hope it don't make you feel too uncomfortable.
What's up?
I run this show called Late Night with Lionhead.
Okay.
I did it during the pandemic, and it was extremely successful during the pandemic.
Okay.
It wasn't after the pandemic. It was over like 2021 because I was offering live performances during the pandemic when no one else was doing it.
Right.
All the clubs were shut down. So I was getting a lot of views. I was getting a person who only had one single out, and I can promise them 1,000 views in 24 hours.
Right.
And I was doing it. The most person, I had a person who was on Livewire. He's an R&B singer named Jay Stu.
Right.
He did, and in 24 hours, during the pandemic, he had 3,780 views.
Right.
Which is really damn good for just going live stream.
Right.
But that was the pandemic.
Right.
Now, after people seen that during the pandemic, I started getting all these people want to be on from the Bay, from LA, wanted to come up to do a live stream, right?
Yeah.
Now, what ended up happening was 2021, clubs started opening up. My wife's like, hey, you know what? You should charge a little something. You know, make a little money because people, they see what you're doing. Right. So I came up with this really affordable plan. Say, hey, look, you can do your single, $5. And if you want to do 3 songs, $15.
Right. You seen them Johns fall down once you started charging the price, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because it was 2021, clubs start opening up again.
Right.
So I kind of cut it out. So a lot of people were telling me, bring it back. You know, just as another option, and other than
What you saying? Like, should you charge?
No, I'm not gonna charge this time. It's not.
No, like you saying, like in general, should you charge?
I mean, probably down the line, sooner or later, I probably will.
No,
but now,
how you start, how you finish. I think you should charge. I think that weeds out people who don't believe in themselves. Like if you don't believe in yourself enough to give the person who spent their time, energy, access, cultivated a crowd, there's two ways about it. Like because I'm not gonna say no names, I'm not gonna put nobody out, because I know the way it made me feel, and I'm this type of person.
Yeah.
If I roll up on an interview and you've never discussed no payment with me, you didn't say it cost nothing, you didn't discuss it with me, there wasn't in an email,
right? Like
nothing, and then like when I roll up, you like, hey, you got something for me? That's one thing. You know what I mean? That's one thing. But if you're like, hey, it's gonna be like $5 if you want this, $15, and then like we can have a discussion, and you're like, hey, no, if you don't got it, bro, it's good. Like that's another conversation,
right?
But there's nothing with, hey man, it's gonna be $5 for one song, $15 for if you want to do a whole John, because at the end of the day, bro, this is your life, this is your time, and you could be doing anything with your time the same way they could be doing anything with their time.
That's exactly what my wife said.
You could be doing it times 1,000 infinity if you got a wife, times 1,000 in infinity if you got children, times 1,000 in infinity. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, in my mind, I was just thinking about just build it up.
I used to be that way, and you're like. This goes to people who like have like anxiety and depression and all that kinds of stuff, because you'll put yourself in this place where you think you're being mean to people, and you think you're treating people wrong, and you're levying yourself, and you're putting yourself in this impossible position where, why are you not important?
Right.
You know what I mean? When do you get to be important? Why is what everybody else wants and what everybody else needs more important than what you and your family need?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? When do you get to become a priority?
Right.
Because when they go home and they go to sleep, they're not thinking about the time that you're putting in on this podcast.
Right. They're not thinking about all the time.
They don't think about that. They only are mad that you're asking them for $5 right now because they need something.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't let them levy their selfishness on you. And that's all. And so this is what I be saying, why I'm very careful about allowing negative energy in my. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I be like, nah, I'm good. Like, because it'll sneak in, bro. It's sneaky. Yeah. And it'll rear its head like it's trying to be your friend, or it'll rear its head like it's acting like it's good advice, or it'll rear its head like it's acting like it's cordial, but it ain't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really projecting.
Yeah.
And that's all people really be doing is levying, is trying to throw something back at you that they're not willing to work for.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is a good point. Maybe I should. I'm gonna think more into it about charging, but you're right. I do a lot of work, and I break the live stream down, because this is how like Late Night with Lionhead works now. So what I'm doing is I'm live streaming.
What you gonna do if this break down? You just gonna quit?
Oh hell no.
No, what I'm saying is, this is what people don't think about, and this is why businesses. This is what. I'm not gonna say black businesses, because I love y'all and I love all my people, but this is why our businesses don't succeed, right?
Okay.
So let's say me and you start a business, right? And we're like, hey, we want to do this podcast. Everything in this room costs money.
Right.
And every time we turn it on, it's slowly breaking.
Yeah.
So every time somebody come in here and use it and we don't make no money, our business is going out of business.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Burning our shit up.
So it's like, nothing is free. Nothing is free. Somebody is paying for this.
Yeah.
So if we don't start valuing ourselves and our time and our equipment and each other, we're all gonna go to nothing. And that's really what happens is we're saying it's free and we're trying to do this whole free economy thing. But what we're really saying is your time is worth nothing. Your time is worth nothing. That's worth nothing. And that's not true. That's a fallacy. Yeah. That's denial. And that's why that'll break down. And then you won't have a podcast and you'll have to go work for some. You see what happens? You see what I'm saying? That's why we all end up in a dead end job doing some stuff we don't want to do because we're trying to denial our way into a dream.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work that way, man. We got to start doing this stuff right. We got to charge each other for the stuff and value it the way it's supposed to be valued, or we gonna end up doing stuff we don't want to do, which is what you realistically that's what it is, right? Right now, what we're saying is, man, I don't really want to charge these people money. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Huh. So we're getting up every day doing things we don't want to do, and we don't do the stuff that we do want to do. Right. Ain't that weird? That's how they done tricked us.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna let you ask questions. This ain't my.
I love it though. I love it because this is a version I never really thought of.
They really trick us into thinking that we're the bad person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true, because when I used to charge people, I'm like, oh, why you gotta charge that money? You really, how long we know each other? That's how you gonna do that? Bruh, it's not like you this nigga. Why you gonna charge that? You ain't like this nigga.
Yeah, you're the weird dude now.
Yeah.
You're the weird one. Are you gonna charge me? You supposed to be doing it on the love.
Yeah.
Where was you at on the love when I was asking for donations? You act like you this
nigga way up here.
So I explained some things to my people on my podcast yesterday. I said, you know what? I need a camera. So you know what I did? You think I'm gonna go out to the store and go buy a camera? Think I'm gonna go get a credit card and go buy a camera? No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep getting on live every day. I'm gonna put up a sub-a-thon, right?
Yeah.
My subs are $5.99 to sub to my thing, and every day I go on my subs and I drop business tips in there. It's $5.99 a month. Netflix is $24.99 a month.
Damn.
A McDouble meal at McDonald's is $6. $5.99 a month. You can get business tips. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just need 10 people to do that and keep that for 10 months, right? Or I can do 10 people in 10 months, and that'll be $500.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's how my mind works. I'm creating money.
Yeah.
Off of doing things I already know how to do, which is create business tips. And you know how I could get business tips? I get up every day and I study. I go and watch people who do business.
Yeah. Doing the stuff that most people don't want to do.
I'm creating value. Most of these people don't want to go watch these people. One, because they're most of them are speaking, and I'm not, again, please don't think I'm speaking down on people. I'm saying this from experience. These people are telling this to me because they say thank you and they appreciate that I'm explaining it to them. Most of these people are speaking over their head, and they won't take the time to explain a word to them, or hey, can you backtrack and dumb this down a little bit? So I'm giving them value by, hey, let me explain that to you, or let me take a moment and go over this, or let me explain the difference between these two things. So like I said, if you take a moment and think about who has a problem, how is there a lot of people who have these problems, right? How can I get access to them, right? And can I realistically solve it?
Yeah.
And if you can do all three of those things, boy, oh boy, can I tell you how to make some money.
Man.
Boy, oh boy, can I tell you how to make some money. Because what most people are just doing is just posting. Right. They're just creating content.
That's true.
With no aim.
I'm doing kind of that. Yeah.
There's no real aim behind it. Which, there's, again, don't be afraid to just kind of fumble into your dream. You're on. it's better to be doing than not do nothing at all.
True. That's true.
Because you don't learn nothing from inactivity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I applaud you for moving forward, but you don't want to just, you got to have an aim to your content.
Yeah.
You got to have, once you have an audience, if you don't have an offer, if you don't have something to leverage, again, it goes back to leverage. If you don't have something to leverage, what are you doing?
Ooh. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like going to work. It's like going to work. It's like going to work but not clocking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get paid.
Yeah, exactly. You built all the audience, but you don't have no offer. So it's like there's no revenue being generated because there's nothing that you're capitalizing on from that audience. Because and again, when I say this, people think, oh, well, you're only building this audience so that you can make money off of them. No, this is value building. You built this audience and these people are going to happily give you this money because people don't go into the grocery store and the teller rips the money out of their hands. Huh. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They happily hand over that cash for that food.
Yeah.
Value is an exchange.
Yeah.
I don't want this money. I need the food. I can't eat this paper.
Right.
That people have this weird mentality that you're ripping them off when you take their money for whatever you're giving them. No. I did not pull you in here against your will and say, give this to me.
Yeah.
You are willingly here because you need something. And I have a solution for you.
That's true.
I can guarantee you almost nobody has ever been sold an iPhone. People just go buy it.
Oh. Yeah, you think about it.
We was talking about music, my bad.
No, I
like,
love it. I love it. I'm pretty sure the people love it too. Look at what nigga said. Broly said right there.
Let him cook. I'm sorry.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, my rants be going, bruh. That's why the podcast called Hyperview, bro. That's why I started it. I really be trying to wake people up because it's like most people is on autopilot. They just get up and they go.
Yeah.
They live in the gap. They don't have. Everybody has a dream. In my heart of hearts, I think everybody has a dream. I think some people have let it die and they just on autopilot, and then other people, they still have it. They just have no idea and no real intention on actually trying to achieve it. They just let it kind of like float out there. They'll talk about it, and that's enough for them. It's talking about it.
Which one do you think the people that you know are, as far as those two options with their dream?
The people I know?
Yeah.
I don't hang around either one of them two. Either one. If you talk, look, you got about, let me tell you right now, you do not want to be around me talking about it. You're not gonna like me.
Yeah.
You are, because if you
talk, somebody's up talking with you, bro, I'm gonna start a podcast one day. Watch. You're
not gonna like me, because the next time you see me, hey bro, what's up with that podcast?
Yeah.
How's it going? Oh, I'm working on. What you mean working on it? What's working on it mean?
Yeah.
You done bought a mic? What's popping? Next time I see you, hey bro, when the first episode coming out?
Right.
Because that's what got me. That I hated people like, because I was that. This is what I'm saying. I was that person. Now that's what got me out of it. Somebody staying on me. Hey bro, what's popping with the pot? And I was like, man, why you keep bothering me, bro? Like,
yeah. You hear that, Lou Burley?
Why does he keep bothering me, bro? Like, bro, let up on a brother. You know what I'm saying? But that's really what it, because that mean that person cared. They was listening to what you were saying and they really interested. You know what I mean? And like, I come from a place where I didn't think people cared. You know what I mean? Like, so when somebody asked me something, I didn't think they cared. So when somebody like popped back up and was like, and told me about what, like, I didn't care. So I didn't think other people cared. So when somebody reminded me about something I said, I didn't even remember. I'm like, what you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, let me remember. So it's like, I'm gonna be that person for you, bro.
Yeah.
Because now I'm keying in like, oh, something going on. So you know what I mean? Like it's like a red flag for me. Like, oh, something popping inside you, bro. Because if you don't care about what you're saying, you know what I mean? Like you probably you in a place.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just an off day or whatever. But like I need to check in with bro or sis or whatever, because something's happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, no, I definitely don't want to be around somebody who just talking about it. And if you have just given up on your dream, I definitely don't want to, because you're going to be a miserable person.
I definitely ain't giving up on mine. I knew I really wanted to do this when I started, I realized I really want to do something where I'm constantly trying to spend money on it and try to make it better. Every single time. I'm trying to make it better one way or another. Sometimes my fault is sometimes I'll listen to myself before I listen to anyone else. But then I'm slowly starting to listen to everybody if it makes sense of what I'm doing. And some people have some great advice. And sometimes when you start something on your own, you kind of think like, oh, I know how I want to do this. Nobody can tell me nothing. You start having that mentality, and then you start realizing that you're starting to circle the drain a little bit. Things are kind of being the same. You
kind of got to have a little bit of denial though. Like as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's trying to do it, you got to have a little bit of denial.
Yeah.
In the direction of I'm gonna make it, but then you got to be a realist in taking advice. But you got to have a circle of people you trust. You can't take it from everybody.
Right.
You got to have a circle of people who you're like, I'm willing to listen to you. But at the end of the day, I treat it like how I treat manhood. If you can't put my pants on, then you can't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one that got to go to sleep and wake up with my decisions.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to get you and I'm going to take your take on it, and I appreciate your opinion, but this is my life, sir. Yeah. So I'm going to make the decision because I'm the one that got to deal with it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll take that.
Right.
Take that. Now I stand in that. Just because if, like, for instance, like if I run a red light, bro, they sending a ticket to my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what I mean? So I'll be like, bro, as much as you want to be like, I told you so, cool, thank you. I will high five you for it. And again, it was me who made the decision.
Right.
Whether you were right or wrong.
Exactly.
So I'm like, at the end of the day, it's going to be levied on me. So I'm the one who has to feel okay about it. Yeah. So that's just how I'll go roll with it. Because I gotta feel okay. If I don't feel okay with it, I don't feel okay with it, and I'm okay with being wrong. Because I'm a human being. I don't remember there ever being anything that said I had to be right all the time. I don't know where people got that from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like this mystical thing out there where it's like, we gotta be perfect. I gotta be right. I gotta make sure. And then, like, it's one thing to be like, I want to make sure I have the most information to make the best decision I can. Yeah. But most people really be trying to be right. And I'll be like, what? Huh. This is like you have no idea what tomorrow is. No idea. You don't even know if it exists. Exactly. What? How are you going to be right all the time? What? Like that's crazy to me. But I mean, that's me though. That's just how my brain works. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe my John is cooking on the extra hot. I don't know. I love it, man. Yeah, I love it. You definitely putting thoughts in my head that I never really thought about. That believe it or not, you helping a nigga out. I hope so. You helping a nigga out. You helping me out. I really hope so. Yeah. So just know that your words ain't falling on deaf ears. Niggas is collecting over here. Look, man. I cooks. I'm. This is what I do it for. Yeah. So, I wanted to talk to you about the podcasting space. Yeah. Do you feel that in today's podcasting that not only is it getting oversaturated, but we tend to speak about too much of the same thing, where it's kind of like, you know what I mean, oversaturated as far as, oh, here we go, another podcast doing this. Do you feel like there's not enough uniqueness in the podcast game? Nah, that's a natural evolution of things. Yeah. What is it? Like anytime, Like, just look at nature.
Yeah.
Anytime you see that there is an abundance of resources, right? Things that need that resources are going to flock.
Yeah.
Right. So like, once people saw that podcast and we're going to take off, right, and then the resources behind, like, it's a train of events. Podcasting kind of took off, right? Like with the Joe Rogans and the Shannon Sharps and all the YouTubers and all that. The YouTube and streaming kind of took off. Yeah. And then you got AI and Descript and all these streaming tools that are coming along, and live streaming, right? Coming along. So you got the infrastructure now is here, right? And then it's so now people are coming. Yeah. Right? So now the floodgates are open.
Oh yeah.
Because before it was, right, it was, okay, you had to kind of have a little bit of money and a notoriety. And then it was, you kind of had a little bit of technical savvy. Yeah. You needed to know OBS, or you needed to do some back end research and need to have a little technical know-how and maybe a little bit of money to like pay some editors and other things like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There were some barriers to entry, but now that there are so many resources, there's websites, there's the floodgates have been opened. So now more and more people can get into the podcast space, right? Everyone's here.
Yeah.
So there's this theory that it doesn't matter what domain you have, right? Which means the domain is just the amount of people that are within a space producing things, right? Whatever those things may be, which it could be sales, it could be podcasts, it could be flowers, that the square root of that domain is going to be producing about 90% of the revenue. Right? So, which just means that excellence scales incrementally. So it doesn't matter how big the size of the domain is. So if it's 1 million people, it'll be the square root of that domain. Yeah. So the rest of that domain is chattel. It's doing the 10% of the revenue. So now that all those people are going to keep flooding in, it's not going to matter. It's still going to be the top, 10% or so that are doing really well and producing the most revenue. Your job, right, in that podcasting space is to find out what your niche is. Yeah. How do I spit out? How do I stick out of that large crowd? How do I speak to my people? Yeah. And the things that I've been resonating on and the book that I read and the questions that have guided me and that have kept me kind of on my path is, who am I talking to? What am I trying to say to them? And why should they care? Right. Those 3 questions. If you can answer those 3 questions, you should have a pretty clear message, right, to be able to convey to your audience and to be able to provide them value. Yeah. What you do after that point is really up to you. Like, what kind of offer you want to offer your audience, what kind of service you want to offer them. The sky is the limit. But those 3 will help you capture an audience, because it like I was saying, the elevator pitch, Hyperview, changing the perspective. That's where I got all that stuff from. Who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? Right. Why do they care? Right. Because a change in perspective is all you really need. I had to talk to him, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going like 60 different places at once, but this is important. I was talking to my daughter about like being in school, and I was like, you can have a kid that's in school right now, right? Right. That's having the time of their life, having fun. They're enjoying every day at school, and they love it. And you can have a kid that's at school and they hate it. Right. They hate every day. They don't like going to school, and they're in the same class, same teacher, same homework. And I said, what's the difference? She's like, maybe their home life is bad. I said, no, I got nothing to do with home. Nothing. We're not talking about home. We're just talking about them being at school. And she's like, I don't know. And I said, it's just their mindset. One of them doesn't like being at school. One of them does.
You like their perspective on it.
It's simply your perspective. One of them likes being at school. The other does not. The environment has not changed at all. They're both at school. The teacher is the same. The kids are the same. The air is the same.
Yeah.
The children's perspectives have made the environment something totally different.
Damn.
And when you think about that, you're like, really? Yeah. Those two kids are sitting in the same room experiencing two different worlds.
Now, what if the one that's enjoying themselves has the same perspective as the one that doesn't, but the one who not having a good time is getting picked on? Let's say your daughter is getting bullied, but your other daughter is not.
She was getting bullied. So you changing the question. So let's say, okay, so ask me the question again. The one who has let's say we got two kids sitting in the class, right?
Yeah.
Right. And one of them's getting bullied.
Right.
The other one is not. You know what I'm saying? The one that's getting bullied has what kind of perspective?
The one that's getting bullied is getting like bullied by certain kids, but like you said, the teachings are the same. Yeah. The people are kind of the same, but for some reason
that's a different environment. You see what I'm saying? You just changed the environment.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Huh.
I didn't change anything about the environment. All I did was change a perspective.
Right.
Right. So what you did was change the environment, and that can change somebody. That automatically can change your perspective, because I have to change my perspective because my environment changed.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is that's how strong your mind is.
Huh.
Right? Mm-hmm. That these two kids are sitting in the same world, the same environment.
Yeah.
But their mind is making them have two different experiences.
Right.
That's how strong your mind is. So once you start harnessing the power of your mind and you start understanding that your experience is underneath your control, the reason why the kid is having a good day is because he wants to have a good day. And the reason why this kid doesn't have a good day, or he isn't enjoying school, is because he hasn't found a reason to enjoy school, or he doesn't want to enjoy school, or he doesn't like school. It has nothing to do with the environment. You understand what I'm saying? That's really the key here. The environment is not really important. It's the mindset. The children's minds are what is dictating if they are enjoying what is going on around them, or if they are not enjoying what is going on around them.
Right.
I've been trying to get my kids into this mindset of, you got to go here every day, Monday through Friday, for the next 12 years. You can either decide that you are going to find something that you can enjoy to do here,
right,
or you cannot like it for the next 12 years. That's up to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Take power back in your life. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why wake up every day upset? That makes zero sense. Why choose to do that? Why would you do that?
Okay. I like what you're saying about, you change, I mean, if you got to be there. You got to be here. Try to make the best of it. Now, do you think, even though this is changing the environment, which I'm doing right now,
right?
One of the children who is not liking it is getting bullied. Do you think that if they change their mindset to not let that bother them and try to make the best out of their day?
No, I'm not saying you got to just let things happen to you. You got to do you got to do what is within your control.
Yeah.
To be able to create an environment that is to your liking. Right? So let's say I'm a kid and I'm going to school and I don't particularly like I said, my advice was find something about this place that you can enjoy. Right. So I'm a competitive person. Right. So I signed up for music. And then me and the girl that I was talking about, the Asian chick, we battled for first chair. That's how I ended up in music until I was in the 11th grade. It wasn't because I really liked playing viola. It's because I got competitive at trying to be first chair. Yeah. Right. It's just that, again, it's just the way that my mind was wired to work. Is I got really good at trying to find ways to occupy myself. Because to be honest, I've been kind of weird and bright for most of my life. So I used to just get bored in class. Yeah. And they would think that I was disruptive because I'd be done. Yeah. And I'm ready to move on. And y'all still teaching somebody else. You know what I mean? So I had to find ways to distract myself and to think about other things. And to be honest, to learn how to not ask questions that would irritate people, because I ask questions that adults don't want to answer to kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. so I had to learn a lot of things early. So
you know what though? Well, I think you kind of got a point. Okay, so my first 2 years of high school, all right, I was really, really into track and field, and I'm really good. I was really good.
Right.
I was so good as a freshman and sophomore that the teachers had to train me with the seniors because we didn't have any sophomores and freshmen that would keep up with what I was doing.
Right.
So I was training with the seniors.
Right.
And at that time, when I was a freshman turning into a sophomore, a lot of my friends were getting into girls, but I really thought I was going to the Olympics.
Right.
I had that mindset. I'm going to the Olympics.
Right.
And so I put women on the back burner, and people thought I was weird. Maybe, are you gay? You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, this is what I love. This is what I'm all about. I love going to school. I'll do whatever I'll just do whatever. Just give me a seat so I can get back to track and field. And that's what I was really into. You know what I mean? As a freshman and sophomore. So I didn't like to school, but I found something that I really love. And I did whatever I can to do that. So your point is correct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that if you find something that you really like, you know what I mean, you can really block all that other shit out.
Yeah. You find something you like, everything else becomes unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honestly, bullies is just, most people is just looking for attention.
Right.
That's all most people is looking for. And if you're not going to give them to them, they'll move on.
That's
they'll
true.
Move on to somebody else who's going to give them what they're looking for.
Yeah. Huh. We get some good information from you, man. This is real good stuff. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming up to the show and checking us out on the podcast. Everybody on the live, I appreciate y'all coming through. Man, I'm gonna ask you one big question I asked before I let you go. This is the biggest question I have to ask. Is there a chance I can get you back on the podcast?
Man, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, exactly. I'm gonna give you this one. Hold on, I'm gonna give you this one, goddamn it.
Let me see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to get him back here. Hyperview, Zion from Hyperview Podcast. Check him out on YouTube. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on TikTok. Definitely check him out on TikTok.
Yeah, definitely check him out on TikTok. We get it popping out here on TikTok. I'm going to build my community out on TikTok, and we might come somewhere else. Because I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a fire experience out here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get more into, do more lives like TikTok, But believe it or not, a brother like me is watching you and getting inspired, trying to do what you're doing.
Brother. I appreciate it. Well, I'm glad I can be an inspiration to you because you're an inspiration to me. I'm telling you, man. We could be inspirations to each other. Definitely do
exactly.
That. Y'all inspirational to me. Thank you for hanging out with me. And like I'm gonna keep saying this. Look, pull up on me. I'll pull up on you. I'm not a stranger. I'm not a ghost. I'm a real person. You a real person. Hyperview Podcast about changing perspectives, business, family, relationships. And what relationships is just connections. Mm-hmm. Being here for one another, supporting one another. You got a podcast, show up for the podcast.
Yeah.
You got a live stream, show up in the live stream.
Well, let me close this thing out because you got so much, man. You got so much game, goddamn. So, man, I want to thank y'all for coming to Support Cha Boi Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm gonna play this goddamn song tonight again. Shit. All right. I want to thank y'all for coming to the podcast. Y'all have a good night. Peace.